In February of 2008, I had the opportunity to travel to Mobile to see the Extreme Makeover Home Edition on their last day of filming. They were working on a house that had been damaged by a recent hurricane, and this was on one of my days off of work, so I was able to come down and watch the team on their last day when they do the reveal of the house. If you've never seen Extreme Makeover Home Edition, I greatly encourage it. It is definitely my favorite show by far. It's fun to watch, and it's very inspirational as well. These are just some of the stars that are on the show, and there's Ty going up to the top of the house there. There you have a blue tarp up there. When they got to the house, there was still a blue tarp on there from damage from a recent hurricane. And like every other house pretty much that they do with this show, they totally demolish the house and start from scratch and build the family a new house. This scene here that they're actually filming never did make it into the final show. It's quite an adventure to go out and watch them. It's basically an all-day thing of standing, and the security is really tight. Just to be able to, if you want to leave the area, you have to get security to actually escort you off the premises. This here is not the real family. This is just some tests that they're doing to get the lighting with the cameras and everything correct before the actual family comes back home. And they did a lot of this throughout the day of moving the bus back and forth, and just working with the cameras and the lighting. And so here's the fake family, as I like to call them, doing a little celebration dance after seeing their new house. The real family came home later on in the day. This is all done in preparation for the real family coming home. And if you've ever seen the show, they show a shot where the bus moves and they show the wheel moving. That's what they were filming right there. And then this is the scene that Ty pretty much does in every show, of running down the crowd and slapping everybody's hand. Everybody on that side over there were the builders and people that helped volunteer. The people on this side, most of the people in the front are family members of the family that the house was being built for, with some regular crowd behind them. And I decided to stay and film from over here because I was up close to the front of a barricade, so I figured it would be the best place to film. And there's some others, designers, with the builders as well. And of course, here's Michael. He came right up to where I was standing. And this is the actual family finally coming back home to see their new house for the first time. Just getting the crowd going again. Family of all boys. And so if you haven't seen the show before, they basically use the bus to block the view of the house so that the family, once they arrive, don't know what the house looks like yet. So the camera's moving over to the front of the family here, and they're going to film them saying the famous line, "Move that bus." And they actually film this multiple times just to get a good clip of everybody that they'll clip into the final show. When the Extreme Makeover Home Edition crew arrives, they pretty much take up an entire block between using different people's yards for the audience as well as all the RVs. Now the cameramen are running over to the other side of the bus so that when they move the bus they can get their expression. And if you look close to the guy on the left down there, he's actually looking under the bus to try to make sure the cameras are in the right position for when they move the bus. But this show actually has two different teams that travel, and they're building basically two houses at the same time in different places. This particular time they were building one down in Mobile, Alabama, and at the same time they were building up in Delaware. So they actually have two different sets of designers, and if you've ever watched the show you'll notice sometimes you see some designers but not everybody. It's because the other designers are at the other house, and Ty was actually up in Delaware for a good portion of this house being built, and then he flew down on the day of this filming for the finale here. So they finally see their new house, and again it's totally different looking than what they had before. It was definitely a fun experience to go down and watch this, and this being my favorite show, I'd definitely go and watch it again if I ever had the opportunity to. But if they were to come down and I was able to get some time away from work, you can actually be a volunteer to help in the building process of the house as well. And I was able to volunteer a little bit on that day I was down there for filming, with helping them with cleaning up and things as well. So that's the designers that the family's greeting now. And here's the family going inside to see their new house. And just like about everything else, they do multiple takes of it. So now they got video of them going into the house. Now the cameramen will go inside the house to film their reactions as they come in. That was my trip down to Extreme Makeover Home Edition. I hope you enjoyed it.